you'd never see again. But guess what? We're here.
Will do.
748. Resume route to. No, I want to stop that. Let me fix that. Drive. Go.
Starting route to Dayton.
And okay, we're here. Okay, so now I don't have to monkey with that. Anyway, we don't have anybody on. We're gonna talk about the Brodac wrap up, what happened and why you guys didn't get a lot of live streaming. And it'll blow your mind when I tell you. Okay, I have 2 more hotspots at home, but I have 2 hotspots here. Each one of these represents at least $100. I won't go through the big ass rotation, but they bricked my original hotspot by changing to Verizon. I went to Verizon, they said they didn't have hotspots. I went to Best Buy, bought a hotspot, took it home. They couldn't unlock it, took it back. They couldn't unlock it at Best Buy. So they pulled all the hotspots off the Best Buy shelf because they're junk, Chinesium. So anyway, went to Verizon to see if I could, because they were switching to Verizon, to see if I could get a Verizon hotspot, and that happened. Then I got mad, and I went to T-Mobile, and I called out, and the guy was Alabama. He said, "Oh yeah, 100% USA support and blah blah. Get this hotspot, order it on Amazon, get it back, no SIM card." Okay, great. Take it to T-Mobile, throw it on the desk, they make it work. They did make it work. There's more to this story, but I don't want to go through it. I've gone through it too many times. So I take this to Brodac's. I get up to Brodac, go to get online, no service. Supposed to be 100% coverage, no service at Brodac. So I said, shit, because I promised you guys that I would live stream from Brodac. I went to Walmart in Waynesburg, and I bought an AT&T hotspot and got whatever, how many minutes or whatever. Well, it did work. If you watch some of the video, it was pixelated and kind of crappy looking. Not my fault. It's not the camera, it was this hotspot. Matter of fact, how's the picture with this? Because we're down in the hole right now. I don't even know if it's working now. Anyway, somebody complained, pissed me off. I said, you know what? They're right. If why bother looking at it? Why should I stand there and hold it for 3 or 4 hours when it's all pixelated and all you can hear is noise? So I decided that I would shoot with my movie camera. That's all well and good. I started shooting with my movie camera. A guy came around with a big golden labradoodle or whatever the hell. Yeah, labradoodle. And I was sitting in my tent, and his dog knocked my tripod over and broke it. And the guy stood it up and said, "Well, that's okay." And then he took off. He wasn't a modeler. He was some guy from Carmichael's. Never saw him again. So I got a broken tripod. Right now we're filming off of a lamp stand. It will not hold, or a light stand. It will not hold my movie camera. So I got a little footage. It's a very small amount of footage of Brodac. I got some of Junkyard Wars, which was not very big. It was only 3 teams this year. And of course, Banjock had all the little kids flying. I got very little footage of that. Anyway, I got a few flights. It's very hard to stand around with that big movie camera like this with no tripod. So there's not going to be a whole lot of Brodac footage. So sorry, that's just the way it goes. I can't help it. I don't own the internet. It's been a real pain in the ass. hopefully we'll have this all straightened out for the gnats. So let me know if you got a good picture now, because I got no idea. Then we have one other bit of business we're going to get to. Let's see. Little blurry, but no complaining. Picture is great, sound is great. Sparky, how was Brodac? You were surprised I didn't fly. Why would I want to fly in wind and crap weather? Terrible. Next bit of business, if you have MCI tires and wheels, got a pair of them wheels?
They're
Not those, the other ones.
yeah, but they're made by the same people. They're Max products is what they are.
Max product wheels have been disconnected, so if you have the wheels, yeah. The MPI Max Products wheels. If you have the wheels and the tires are worn out, this is a whole box of tires. These are $10 a pair. And you get with John, and he'll say as many pair as you need.
But they only work on these narrow tires. They don't work on these ones that's got the reinforcing rib in the rubber. These are glued on. These slide down in, so the rim is made a little deeper here. They look just like these, except they got cutouts in the center part of it, lightning slots.
John's making these wheels too, but you're not going to want to pay for them. $100 a pair. Would you even do it for $100?
I don't know. I don't know if I would or not. So I'm only making a couple sets of them. I'm making it. They got Delrin bushings in them, which I made a bunch of Delrin bushings. But I mean, they come out. I make these blanks, and then that's just the start of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work. I'm not a CNC guy. I don't have CNC equipment, so it's all manual lathe work. So I don't do that. That's for this.
Ought to cut them out.
Well, I don't have to bolt them onto it.
Oh, to turn
I
it.
put them on there, and then I can run it up here and round these edges, and just pop one off, pop another one back.
Right.
So that's just to make that round, and then even these aren't that simple to do.
That's why they're $10 a pair.
The materials are really expensive for this stuff. And what we found out was, I myself found this out because I researched this big time. This rubber that was on these original rims is sort of soft and they wear out pretty fast. So this rubber that I got for these is the next harder grade, durometer grade foam. So they're a little bit harder and they should last just a little bit longer, but they're a foam wheel. And if you're running on concrete, they're going to last like a foam wheel on concrete, but maybe a little bit better than the stock ones. But that's sort of what the donuts look like. They're rounded over. They're rounded over. They're not flat. I could have, shorted everybody and just sold them
Flat.
like a racing slick. But no, the stock ones came rounded over, so I made all these. These are 2 1/4. I think they come out to 2 1/4 inches. Might be just a shade over, but that's all right. Mounded, they're not quite 2 3/8, but they're considered 2 1/4. I made them the same diameter as the stock Max product tires were. So I've got a limited amount for sale. I'm going to be at the Nats. I'll have them at the Nats. So if you got somebody you know that's going to the Nats and you can't make it, have them pick you up some, because I really don't want to have to
No shipping.
mail order 50,000 sets of tires out there, and get them while the supply lasts, because
Yeah, these are unobtainium. You can't get them from Max Products any longer, so we got them here.
while supplies last.
Yeah. I didn't sell my Bearcat, so anybody interested in that Bearcat can, email me and tell me you're going to be at the Nats and pick it up. If you're not interested, I'm not taking it. It's too damn heavy. Had a lot of lookers.
That's a Raby BBQ
B.
Bearcat.
Sato 72.
And that doesn't stand for barbecue Bearcat either. It's supposed to be a quick build. I think 3 of those guys, or 3 of them, Al and a couple other guys, were supposed to build 3 of them in a weekend.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think that's what he said he was trying to do. It didn't work out, but he was trying to do that.
A lot of people have been asking about my finishing techniques. I get it all the time when I'm out in the at the meets. Over there, you should pick it up, is a Cobra. John built it. I'm going to cover it and finish it. We'll be doing that on Stunt Hanger. How light it'll be, I have no clue. Super Tiger 46. But everybody's wondering about I-beam wings and how to finish them. I'm gonna do that on video. So,
of course, everything's done and it's molded. So there's a molded bottom block, goes into the fuel tank area, molded
total
top and bottom, molded nose.
But I won't get to that. I won't get to that till after the Magnum build. So it's going to be the Magnum. Actually, I need to do the Magnum, finish inking the Thunderbolt, get some clear on it. Here we go again. Stop. Full stop. I'm going to be repairing my Continental for the Nats, getting it ready. I'm going to cut the canopy off as soon as I get home, probably starting tomorrow night, and I'll show you how to replace the canopy. And do all the touch-ups on it, and then 1 or 2 more coats of clear on it. And no, I'm not using urethane. Dope. But we'll bring that up to snuff so it looks presentable for the Nationals. Then I'll get back on the Magnum. Then I'm going to ink and clear the Thunderbolt. Then I'm going to get on this project here, get it covered and ready for Classic. This should be ready next year. And then I bought a Juno kit cut by Jeff Traxler at Brodac. So put a Super Tiger 46 on that. It's just a lot of work. It doesn't look like I'm going to be doing too much in the garage. I got too much airplane shit to do.
If you guys get these tires, you need to make you a cone. You make that out of a dowel rod and just put a taper on it about from the diameter of that to the outside diameter of your rim. So you can see this is an aluminum one, but it's the same outside diameter of the rim and the same inside diameter of the rubber tire. And you soak these things in some soapy water and then stick this on the rim and slide that down onto the rim. I've tried to put these on by hand. I can't put them on by hand. And all these sizes are stock sizes to these rims. These are made the exact same as the Max product rim. I just didn't cut out little spokes in them. Instead, I got center line mags.
See, I got a set of wheels that's bigger than that.
Yeah, because you gotta say it's 2.5 inches. These are
2 inch.
or these are 2.25.
Well, it's supposed to be 2, but whatever.
Well, that's what the stock ones came out, 2.25.
But I got a bigger wheel, and I did get the stock tires stretched over that wheel because they were worn out.
Well, if you can do it by hand, I couldn't do it by hand. I gave up and I just made a cone. This is how we used to mount all of our RC car tires, our foam car tires for indoor carpet cars. We had cones like this that you dip this in lacquer thinner and you spray contact cement on the inside of the rubber and contact cement on the rim, and then you dunked everything in a lacquer thinner, and that made that contact cement slippery. And then you stuck it over, and you had to be quick. Yeah, slam that thing down over there and get it on the rim real quick and get it all centered up, because as soon as that thinner dried out, well, you were stuck.
You don't have to do that with these.
But you don't have to glue these on or anything. In fact, I wouldn't glue them on. They fit tight enough that under speed they won't flare out and come off the rim or anything like that.
He's got how many pairs? 122 pair. So 110. We'll say 110 pair. So got $1,000 worth.
I've got some that I cut out of some foam that's the same weight. Where'd that go? Where'd that other box go? What did you do with it?
Down there.
Oh, all the way around. Can't get through that way. I've got very few of these. We got about maybe 20 pair of these, but these are what I marked them soft. These are the same diameter or hardness of rubber as the stock ones. The new ones that I'm selling here are harder. So, I mean, if you wanted to put stock type ones on there, if you look at these, you leave your airplane out on the tarmac for a while, these stock ones will flat spot on you pretty quick. I'm not saying that these won't, but they may give you a little bit more of an advantage not doing that.
6 watchers, 6 thumbs up. Is the picture okay? Let me see if the lens is. But I know that when I watched the other video, it was terrible.
Oh, you want to get online or something?
Yeah, check it out. Let me wipe the lens off here. Seven and 8. Oh, that's good. And that foam that I got is the same as this foam here. You know, interlocking.
But softer
No, denser. It's better than this. It's denser than this.
than this is.
Yes. I bought enough to do a 4x8 sheet. Yeah, it's fine.
A lot better now at Brodac.
Yeah, Brodac was all, you couldn't hardly see it.
It's pixelated and sort of out of focus looking, and then every now and then you get a big blur across it where it wasn't receiving any signal.
And I'm sorry, guys, but I don't own the internet.
Well, they don't, I've never had, my phone
Didn't work there.
didn't work there. It works everywhere. I tried to put on my GPS thing to go to the motel room basically, because I sort of forgot how to get over there. and it wouldn't work. But yet Sparky's Garmin worked.
That's off satellite. That's why.
Yeah, so yeah, service sort of sucks up there, but nature of the beast.
And then that guy's dog breaking my tripod. I'm sorry, I just can't hold that camera. That's heavy camera, very long. So you're not gonna get much video.
Yeah, well, it's over with now. So whatever you got, you got. All there is to it.
You know, some of them guys donated for bandwidth, and I did spend the money on hotspots and bandwidth.
Yeah, I know.
$400 I spent on hotspots and bandwidth, but if I can't use it, I can't use it.
Complaining up a storm.
No speak English.
This is where are you at? The Philippines.
God, what a pain. So, we had a good time. I mean, I put in a few flights, practice flights. I did not participate in the contest. My airplane's just not trimmed enough to make a fool of myself out there. You had Constantine, and Joe Daly, and these are FAI team members. Just not worth it. Zero chance of winning.
And I got food poisoning.
Yeah, we ate at a Mexican place that they had to cook the dog or something.
I got up the next morning or that evening coming back from the restaurant. I was about ready to, you know what, all night long. And the next day everybody was going, man, you look sick. I says, I am sick. So I spent the first day, when was it? Friday, sicker than a dog all day. And then Saturday, we got up Saturday morning, and I ate a half a bowl of hard cereal, and that was it. I couldn't get anything else down. And I finally, right now, after all day long today and traveling back home, I finally got some dinner down me that amounted to something.
It was cold, rainy, windy.
Oh, God.
Of course, I've never been to a Brodac, and that was funny because they said it hadn't rained in 30 days. And when I got there Friday, it was beautiful. And Saturday, it turned to shit.
And then it kept raining off and on the whole time.
The whole week.
Yeah. Thursday night, it rained so hard, I think there should have been tornado warnings because it kept me up all night long. The winds, high winds, and rain, horizontal rains, and it poured all night long and into the morning. And then it cleared up just enough to get everything in.
Now I did get some footage. It'll take me a week to get it up. Some flights, some junkyard wars, the memorial. It's just not going to be a 2-hour long video. It'll probably be maybe an hour. But it'll kind of give you the flavor of what's going on there. And we miss all you guys that didn't make it, Lenny and Paul Taylor, and they mentioned Big Jim Lynch, at the memorial.
The turnout was really sort of small.
About 140 people. It's about half of what it normally is. And some new people showed up. It's the guys that I met in St. Louis at Booter Park. I told them to show up at and they showed. They had a good time. So. See if we got anything said. We got 10 watchers and 10 thumbs up. That's good. If you got something to say, go ahead and type it. We can see it here. I can't see it out of the field. This is the regular Saturday at John's setup. Except I'm running on the hotspot instead of his home internet. think it's great you got tires for these now. How long did it take you to make all them? Month?
No, about 3 days.
I don't see any black little chiggers all over the place.
No, I had to clean everything up. They make a damn mess.
Where's the cookie cutter you cut it with?
Well, I'm not gonna give away all my trade secrets.
Let me see.
I will later. But yeah, you gotta make a cutter for them, and these come a 1/2 inch thick. I hadn't even had to take them down to 3/8 because it was a 1/2 inch foam.
Do that on a belt sander?
I did it on the lathe. But that's the only thing that was done on the lathe to these was rounding them over and thinning them out. Everything else was done different.
Danny, if you're watching, you better be sanding. I'll be by tomorrow to check it out. He might be back in.
Let's see another airplane this year.
Yeah, he might be back in Phoenix still with his mom.
Yeah, that's possible. Bless her heart, she's 94 or 96, 98.
Yeah. I think it's what he said.
I know she's up there, and she's
And
still
she-
kicking her out.
Listen to this. His sister's taking care of her, and she's in her 80s.
Yeah.
Then there's
That's
Danny. He's the baby boy.
Unreal.
He took an arbor press that I gave him, and he made it brand new again.
He said he was going to do that.
I didn't want to monkey with any of that shit. He should have took the lathe too. I gave that to the junk man that came by. Haul it away.
Just like that one, wasn't it?
No.
Basically it.
No, bigger on a stand that sat on the ground. The head on it was I don't know 8
Probably
inches.
8 inch.
Yeah. Had all the gears to cut thread, and he said, you sure? I said, yep, take that. Matter of fact, take this grinder with you too. I had a
I
pedal.
got gears for that and stuff. I got all sorts of gear change. Shit.
I had a pedestal grinder on a pedestal similar to that, and a 3-horse grinder, and it was a Matco grinder. You plug it in, whoa, 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 whoa.
No power then. In
No.
other words.
No, I got another grinder upstairs. It's brand new. It's a cheapie. I think it's Chicago Electric, but it works.
That's all you need.
I'm trying to get one of them. They're $198, but Harbor Freight never has them.
Try to get one used somewhere.
Get a 4-foot disc sander.
If you could get one, I would say that. I use that disc sander more than anything
No
in
doubt.
there.
No doubt.
Drill press and that disc sander more than anything. I mean, it's so easy to flip that thing on, go burp, burp, burp. You know, it's got about 80 grit paper on it, and it, everything goes over to it. Plug it into the shop vac and let her rip.
I wonder if they got it here. If they got it in Dayton, I'll pick it
a
up.
12-incher or something.
I'll pick it up on the way home.
Yeah,
12-inch.
12-inch. But if you can get as big a one as you can afford. That's all I gotta say. Well, watch out, because anything over 12-inch, you're probably getting into 220 or
Oh, you can't get sandpaper for it
something like
either.
that. Yeah, you gotta go commercial to get
That's-
sandpaper. But back in school, we used to just contact cement and just flat sandpaper.
See, it said that,
pieces and
it
put
has
them on
said
there.
that for the longest time, back in stock soon at St. Louis.
Huh.
I wonder how to. Harbor Freight would like to no. Cancel. I would like to change locations. How do you do that? Let's see. Location. There we go. 4 or 5. We'll do that. And we'll look for this. In stock. No. Back soon. Dayton, Ohio.
They're Chinesium.
Oh, shit.
They're central pneumatic is what they are probably. I can't even remember.
Maybe I ought to stop in there and ask him.
Central machinery.
Yeah. Maybe I ought to ask him where going west that the closest store that has one. Oh. Okay. Nope. Back in stock. They never have them.
Yeah. Call up Central Machinery.
Yeah, probably. They tack another $100 on.
Well, yeah, gotta ship it. Gotta ship it.
So, have you guys missed Saturday at John's? Entertaining.
Of course, we're not really doing much anything
No.
down here. We're just jacking the jaw, resting up on the ride home.
This is just the
Sparky.
stuff over.
Sparky's stopping over and spending the night where he can pick up all the stuff that he left over here. At least that way he'll have all the stuff now back home. He's got everything pretty much. And I took one of these little bandsaws here, these little handheld bandsaws, and made a table and put a table on it, and that's better than sliced bread now. Now I got me a metal bandsaw now with a table on it, and next project is build a frame with this to make a drop bandsaw out of it. I just pop that table off and stick it in a little frame and make a drop bandsaw out of it. So that's the next project of tools. Can't afford one of the big floor model bandsaw deals, but this is plenty big for the kind of stuff that I mess around with. I can't think of anything. This Cobra here was a Brodac short kit. And it's sort of basically stuck together and roughed in. Nothing solid or set on it. The cow's made. Still needs work, you know. Like I said, it was all rough sanded.
It'll be beautiful when it's done.
Typical I-beamer. Everything's floppy and flexy until you get it covered. And I still gotta work on my other Geo down on the floor over here. Which I haven't done anything to it for a while. But it's fiberglass. Covered everything but the fuselage isn't covered. Stab and elevators aren't covered with tissue paper, flaps aren't covered. We gotta finish that up. Wait until after the gnats probably before I go delving in on that.
What's that?
before I go delving in on finishing that.
You still got your other airplane out there. Have you flown that yet? The one out there on the table?
The Liberty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I've only flown it like 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, we're still doing basic trim job on, which I gotta try to do between now and the nap, because
Is that the one you're gonna try to fly?
yeah. So it's pretty hard when you don't have anybody to fly with.
You get Brandy.
Yeah, that's she would probably do it. I mean, she would help. I don't want Barb messing around with. I don't want her to get hurt or anything like that. So I'll make up some kind of a stage. I'll go down to the
Get yourself one of them piano stands like I got, so you can flip it upside down and start it, and then flip it back over and hook it to the stool.
I'm going to work on starting it on its wheels. I mean, a lot of guys do that, you know, and they don't have any problems with it. Even get spinner flips on them.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out the numbers, whatever it takes. 5 drops, 10 drops, whatever. Flip it over 20 times, turn it on its wheels, and back flip it.
I don't think they put any fuel in the Venturi. I think they just choke it. You can't choke yours, can you?
I probably can, but it's a pain getting your finger in there to it, because, you know, all these cows are so funky.
Well, my shotgun is impossible.
Joe Reinhardt used to put like 6 drops of fuel. He'd hold it up, nose up. He'd put like 6 drops of fuel down the Venturi, and then he'd go like this and flip it back and forth, and then flip it over like that 3 or 4 times. And he'd set it on the ground and thing fire right off.
We'll have Joe Reinhardt show you.
Yeah. You know, to be honest, I've never really tried it enough to get the hang of it. So I'm sure that once I learn it, there won't be any problem. And I don't think it's something that you want to really start off with on a brand new engine, you know, that's going to be sort of hard to start anyway.
Put a metal spinner on it and get electric starter.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that at Brodac's.
Yeah.
It was so cold. It was so cold that a lot of guys were using electric starters because, you know, they were pretty much afraid of not getting them to run. And that's not the only place we've ran into cold weather where they were hard starting.
Down a little bit more.
Cleveland was one that was a cold venue in the mornings, and if you didn't thoroughly burp your engine,
We need to get some lighter fluid to carry.
it's already in my box.
I haven't had one.
Go to the store, put it on your list of things to do. Yeah, lighter fluid works wonders for getting a cold morning start. It doesn't hurt anything.
There we go. Craig says, I'm out flying, but it's good to see you, John. And then Daniel Berry says, what's up?
What's up? Gotta be you, cause it ain't me. Same old stuff, new day. You know, I don't know that we're gonna be on here real long tonight. Try Superfill. Whatever you do. You get a chance, guys, get you some Superfill and try it. You'll never turn back after using it. At least to me, I wouldn't. This stuff is light, strong, highly sandable.
I don't see where to give a thumbs up on this phone. Maybe that's why.
You gotta take it off the message and go back. Now you'll get it.
Oh, I see. Give the thumbs up.
And now, if you want to get back to chat, now you gotta press. You gotta press this right here.
Oh, I see.
Live chat, and then if you turn it, it'll be on one side of it, or it should.
No.
Not gonna change for you. Well, it'll change now that you don't want it to.
John Siglet. John, have you been spending as much time building as since Sparky left? Nope.
No, actually, not this spring. I haven't been. I've been tied up working in the yard. You know, you own a house, and we had 90 feet of honeysuckle tore out that was about 30 foot tall and 20 foot wide, and so then after we got that tore out, we had to rototill the heck out of it to get all the roots and everything out, and then we got some trees to put in there, some sort of cone-shaped pine trees that get about 15 foot. Arborvitae is what they're called. We got about 20 of those to put in there. We put them in there, put mulch down, put up metal edging, and now we still got to plant the grass seed and stuff on the outside of all that. But I put in a irrigation system for all the Barb's plants around the house and stuff, so she can just go over to the spigot and turn it on and set the timer for how long she wants to water it for, and then it shuts it off by itself. So that's real nice. The big thing here is, you know, we're not getting any younger, and we're trying to make our outdoor work as least labor intensive as we can. You know, we try to make it where we really don't have to do a whole lot.
So you got more time for model airplane.
Yeah, really. You know, cut the grass, and that's in, blow the sidewalk off and stuff, and that's about it. And if I can do that, pull weed here and there, but nothing major. Everything's, you know, sort of self-sufficient. So what I'm looking for, no low maintenance, not no maintenance, but low maintenance. Yeah. Getting that, and then heck, I need a roof, so I got a roof I got to work on. We've been getting bids on that. Absolutely astronomical. It's ridiculous.
I got a kitchen to rebuild, but I think that I'm going to go back to model airplanes for a little while, let the kitchen hang. Like, I'll be like John, 3 years to get a kitchen done.
Yeah, and the problem is I got so far, and it only takes a little bit. And, you know, one day I could just about have everything finished up. But I lost interest. We got sidetracked somewhere along the line, got on another project, and I lost interest, and I got to get back to it. So we'll do that sometime this spring and summer.
I got cabinets to do in the kitchen, and the bathroom needs to be repaired, and electrical and the plumbing, and I got a ton of shit to do, but I'm neglecting stunt hangers, so I got to get back on that. So yeah, just
All takes time.
yeah.
It's sort of hard to come by.
I mean, I can work, and I work long hours, but man, it's tough.
Yeah, well, now you don't have a normal job.
Yeah, I got a. I used to work for a living. Now I work for my old lady.
I can tell you one thing: retiring ain't what it's all cracked up to be. You end up with doing more and having less time than you did when you were working. I have no idea how I ever managed to do everything while I was working.
And no money.
Yeah. That's even worse yet. Now you got even less money.
I did have a bit of good news. I told you that they gave me my deposit back.
Yeah, that was, you're lucky on that one.
Yeah. normally if you rent an apartment or a house or whatever, and you put a security deposit down, a cleaning deposit or whatever, you never get it back. But I paid where I worked. I gave them the money up front with thinking that I'm going to get the money back, and it took 2 months to get it. But Friday at Brodac's, the check came in. It's sitting on my table when I get home. So
You must have really vacuumed real good in there to get all that sawdust out of that carpet.
I vacuumed it real good. But you know, you think about it, 6 years of wear and tear, they got to give you a little something.
Yeah, they didn't come in there and do anything in those 6 years' time.
Nothing,
So
nothing.
they painted the outside of the buildings to make it spruce it up, but that's about it.
And that's what I said to him. I said, no, you know that I first started paying $385, and with all this COVID BS and everything, and remember, I own a house and it's 100% paid for. I don't have to pay any rent. First it started at $385, then it went to $485. Now they want $5 something. I said, no, you're gonna have to get somebody else to pay for your parking lot and paint job.
And living in a closet.
And yeah, my apartment was the size of right here. That's it.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you guys have all seen it on video. It's
15 foot by 15 foot, I think.
yeah, the living area.
Yeah.
And you had a bathroom off to the side of that. That doesn't count for anything.
Yeah.
The bathroom's about the size of a walk-in shower.
15 by 15, and I built how many airplanes out of there?
6, 7, 6.
Quite a few. Well,
Quite a few. Well, maybe more than that.
yeah, because if you count the voodoos,
Yeah, there was 3 views or 4.
I don't remember.
Well, we both built the same 3 or 4 of them
Yeah.
at the same time, and then I'd say at least 6 airplanes, full-size stunners. I mean, this shop, I'll tell you what, it looks pretty nice, but you never have enough room.
No.
You never, ever have. What makes it nice is the size of this table. When it's cleaned off and you go to set an airplane up, you can walk all the way around your airplane. The airplane's on the table.
This is the same size table as I got for my woodworking shop in the garage.
It's a 70 by 48 with a 3/8 inch glass top on it.
My table is 2 pieces of 3/4, 1 piece of MDF, and then 1 piece of, what do they call that white shit?
Melamine.
Melamine. And that's what's on my shop table in the garage. So if I have to, I can go out in the garage, and I have a table like this, but upstairs it's 30 inches by 7 foot
Right.
with glass on it.
And these tables don't move. You put this glass on there and all this stuff and build it out of 2x4s and 2x6s, it don't move. It stays put. You can bump it all you want, and it's not going to slide across the floor.
Yeah, mine probably weighs 1,000 pounds.
I know I took a pry bar to shim it. You know, I'd take a pry bar underneath of it to get wood shim underneath it to level it out.
You ought to get them wheels like I got. They got.
I don't want it to move.
Yeah, but if you need to move it,
It goes, you know, when we sell the house,
it goes
it
with
goes
that.
with the house, because I'm not going to take it apart to do anything with it. It is all screwed together. There's no nails. They're screwed and lag bolted together, so it is all that. But
Mine's all screwed and glued. It ain't coming apart.
I didn't glue any of this because I thought maybe somebody would. Probably, I didn't want them to waste the wood to cut it up to get it out the door, you know. I made that mistake once before.
What's a good place to get these large pieces of glass? Any glazer can get it for you.
A glass shop, go to a commercial glass shop, and
Hold on to your wallet.
I don't get tempered glass. I get plate glass, 3/8 inch plate glass, and nothing done to the edges. Just they call it seamed. They take a belt sander and some 120 grit sandpaper and just take a sharp edge off of it, so it don't cut you. And then
But if you want to bevel it, all you need is a belt sander and some grit, different
you
grit
don't
sanders.
need to bevel it for this. I mean, you got a bevel and you got 10 different grades of sandpaper, and then the cork belt and all that stuff to get it clear. That's and that'll cost you an awful lot of money to have that done. And they do it in machines nowadays. We used to do that stuff by hand.
I was a beveler. I know all about it.
And
What is a beveler? It's a sander.
He's another sander of glass.
You hold the belt sander like this and you walk up and down the edge.
You learn how to do the bottom side and the top side without flipping the whole piece of glass over.
Yeah.
And it makes a mess. Dusty, watery.
And make sure you wear
a
dust mask.
But yeah, all you need to do is seam it just to take the sharp edge off of it. And, I go with 3/8. I wouldn't go any thicker. I wouldn't go any thinner. 3/8 holds its, doesn't bow real easy or anything like that, and it's not overly heavy. You start getting into 1/2 or 3/4 inch glass or something like that. It's just too bulky and heavy to work with.
Find yourself somebody who's got a 4x8 dinner table that made of glass, and they're out there because.
Well, the problem is those are either heat strengthened or they're tempered.
Yeah.
And if you can't cut them, you can't cut them down.
No.
To get plate glass, I could pull this out if I wanted to and cut it in half and make 2 pieces out of it because it's plate glass. It's not code like for a coffee table or something like that. It has to be heat strengthened or tempered. That way it breaks into small pieces. This will break into big giant chunks.
Be careful gluing on it though, because I glued to it, and the CA will pull it apart.
Yeah, you can chip it.
It pulled a hole out of my glass.
Yeah, I've got some on here. There's some right here in front of you, probably somewhere. Little ones.
This is a big one.
But yeah, it'll pull a chip right out of the glass. So, but when I do all my airplanes, I do them just exactly like what you did on your video here the last time. You were showing jigging this wing up and all that stuff with little triangles.
Yeah, I know. We done it here.
Just a bunch of little triangles tacked glued to this glass, in a straight line. A T marked on it, straight lines, 90 degrees to each other, and everything lines up off those T's. And once I started building on glass, I never looked back.
Yeah, I used to build on them ceiling tiles, but
I've had ceiling tiles. I've had
doors, drywall.
What are those rack things that you adjust a jig?
Yeah,
I've used those. I've used all different kinds of things. Tom Morris had a pretty good system with the little L angles and the
I got a pair
blocks that slide up and down on. That's not a bad system to build on, but you still need a good flat base to work off of.
Yeah, I got a pair of them. They were $100 20 years ago.
Yeah, you got about 6 or 8 L angles, and
more than that, there's 10.
Or they're 10.
5 or no,
3, 6, 9, 12.
12 of them.
Because you had 3 for the front of each wing, having 3 for the back.
Yeah.
12 of them. They all had the little adjustable things on them.
I got them. I should sell them.
But it really is a good way of building. If you like to do that new millennium
I want to build
building.
I want to build a fuselage jig.
Why?
Because I'm tired of doing it by eye.
You got your table back.
No, I'm talking about with the sliders that, that you can bring it down, that taper down even. There, Bob Hunt's dad, Joe Hunt, made a nice one. Jim Hunt, yeah, made a nice one.
He was a character. That was a character. Little short guy. He was fun. We went over to the Brodac warehouse and it was him, the first time I'd ever been in there. And he was the one that was giving the tour around the warehouse. And he took us through every single inch of that thing. And he was so proud. And I can remember, I don't blame him, of these machines that he had made in there. And he had designed all these things from literally nothing. He made a machine that carved props.
I seen it.
That it was a dangerous thing, man, because it definitely wasn't OSHA approved. He had this big bit that came out and it worked in this parabolic arc, you know. And all that
The
stuff.
dust, I've seen it. The neatest machine is the 327 crankshaft piston and rod that folds tanks.
Folds tanks, yeah.
Yeah. It goes.
Yeah.
Of course, that wire bender they got is pretty
The
cool
wire
too.
bender's good. I don't know if Jim did that or not. He probably did, because he was back in the conception of Brodac's. You know, he was involved at the very beginning of it and worked there at the factory for quite a few years.
I think Doug Taffender also had something to do with that tank folding machine.
I can't tell you.
But I'm going to make a different fiberglass. I'm going to make a different tank mold. I'm going to make it more like Kaz's, thicker and wider than what Wendy's got. So, same principle, but I'll use that aluminum mold shit.
You gotta have 3 pieces.
Right. But I'll use that mold, that stuff we got. I'll make a plug and mold that plug, pour a mold to mold a plug, and then take the plug and mold the outside. Make, the mold for the outsides. Because I just don't like that system. It's not I want a round side. I want to make a clunk tank.
Right.
Just like Kaz's tank.
Square tank, basically. Oh, you want to make the rounded end of it.
Yeah, just like.
That center part has to be 3 pieces. You need a piece to drive out of there to get the other 2 pieces out.
Yeah.
And without that, like I tried it with 1 piece and you can't. It's not coming out of there.
Yeah, you got a 3-piece mold, don't you?
No, it's 1. It's 3 pieces if you consider 2 end caps in the main body. But the main body needs to be made in 3 pieces.
Yeah.
You need like a 1/4 inch center section and then the 2 outer pieces, which are bigger, to make up your dimension. And then when it's dry, you pop that center piece out and that gives you room to get all the rest out.
Did you try blowing air in it?
Yeah.
And nothing.
No, it sucks down tight on that thing. You need to. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it probably helped, is to heat that thing up real hot before you put the resin and the fiberglass and stuff on it, is heat that mold up real hot. And that way when you mold it by it dries and it's bigger, and it cools down, and it gives you clearance. But I don't know if that'll be enough. It'd be just as easy just to make it out of 3 pieces and be done with it. So what I'll probably do with that one I got is I'll just split it down the middle and jig it back up on the mill and mill this, the
Just give me an idea. Make it out of 3 pieces. Cut it right down the middle. Add a piece of 1/8 inch aluminum in there. You knock the center piece of aluminum out, and then both pieces will collapse so you can get it out.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, that's not how Wendy's is.
I know, but you're talking top and bottom. I'm talking just sideways. I'll give you my thing. See, if you split it this way, and it only has to be 1/8 of an inch.
Right?
And make it longer on both ends, but make it the same thickness. Split that down the middle and stick that piece in there and then mold it.
Right? And then
And then you just tap that center piece and pop it out, and then that gives you enough room to
That'll work.
squeeze it together. You could do it the other direction, I guess, but it didn't work very well just taking that right there and wrapping it with fiberglass and epoxy and then trying to get this out of it. It didn't work very well. And then I turned around, what did I do? Did something to this where I had to cut this off. Oh, I cut a taper. I cut a taper in this so it's thicker at one end than it is at the other to try to give it some relief angle to get it apart.
That's how Wendy did.
And I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if that will work or not, which I'll probably do before I cut it in half, but I still got to refinish.
Well, if you
side.
see what Wendy does, he wraps toe around one end and then beats
I
the
did that,
crap on the other end.
and it just broke that toe right off of it. It was wrapped around there when I put the wet glass on it.
Either way, I like that idea of splitting it.
But now you got three pieces you got to try to hold together while you wrap it.
No big deal. Just rubber band it like that. You're not going all the way to the end. Tape it, whatever, and then when you get it all wrapped, take the tape off or wait till it dries,
Yeah, and cut it out there.
and then put it on in a vise, and then take a drift and dry that piece out.
Well, this is all biggest piece of aluminum I had at the time, and it was 8 inches long.
So that's an 8-ounce tank, except it's thicker than 1 inch. What's the thickness?
Yeah, it's like 1.25 inches.
So a 10-ounce tank.
It only takes like 5.5 inches of this to
For-
make a 7-ounce tank.
For a PA 75?
Only takes like 5.5 inches of it. So you need a little extra on each end anyway, because waste. You're gonna cut it off anyway, and so I figured this was the minimum to get by. I figured 6 inches long for the tank, and 6 inches is actually 8 ounces of fuel. I think it is. It came out.
So it's 1 inch for every 4 inches. So if you had 4 inches, that'd be 5 inches, because it's 1.25 inches.
So every 4 inches
It's actually
is
5 ounces.
5 ounces,
Right.
not
Every 4 inches is 5 ounces.
right.
Every 4 inches is 5 ounces. So 8 inches would be 10 ounces. So let's see. Need to count. Hard to count.
I'm telling you right now, it's about 5.5 inches is 7-ounce tank, and you barely need 7 ounces. If you make it six inches, you're guaranteed you're going to have 8 ounces of fuel, and you're only using 6 inches of your fuel compartment up instead of 9 inches or 8 inches of it. You know, which is always a problem. You got to make them thicker because you don't have the nose length to fit that big long tank in there.
Yeah. I think Kaz's tanks are thicker than that, aren't they?
Nope, same thickness as this.
You borrowed my tank and made it the same, yeah.
And it's 2 inches by 1.25 inches. So
But his tanks are round. These
Well,
are straight.
I didn't have the machinery to do that with. I didn't work.
Yeah, you don't work for Honda.
Yeah, Honda. So I did it the easiest way for me, and that was just to put a wedge in it, which is it's fine. I mean,
You could have done it on the descender. Heat your hands up.
yeah, I mean, takes so much time to do that. You're grinding aluminum, you think it goes fast, and until you get on it and start doing it.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh man, that's taking
forever.
Well, we've been on an hour. Appreciate it. 17 thumbs up. That's good. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time. I'll see you from St. Louis.
Till then.
See ya. I get that.